what's happening. IO gyro. Oh, love it.
They gave him the PL.
You know what I'd love to see from NIGMA is the refreshing take on IO gyro, because of course RDW, he loves playing, you know, some IO carry. What's also pretty good? Gyro mid. What makes this combo good? Maybe you put the IO in the safe lane, the gyro in the mid lane. You pick a strong lane to enable the IO, and now you have a really big mid-game orientated draft once again. Or they can just go support IO with GH, sure.
A thing, IO. What was the discussion? If it's core, it wins. If it's support, it loses. Pretty much the rule.
Pretty much the rule of
a
thumb,
divide,
yeah.
But how does Carry Wisp fare against Phantom Lancer? Because
that doesn't matter. PL's always picked.
On the other team.
Never mind. Yeah, for a second there, I
Say
thought it
what
was
we
banned,
should
but it was banned previous game in the first phase.
Yeah.
So
I think it depends. It fares well because of the gyro. I think they, if in this weird scenario that I proposed, if it is to work, then the IO and the gyro complement each other. A lot of magic damage coming out to deal with the likes of a PL. But you know, let's not get carried away with the kind of that weird iteration.
okay, so can we learn anything from the bans of the Timber, the Abaddon, and the Lesh? Or are those all just heroes that do okay against
protecting
PL?
the Phantom Lancer? I think
Yeah.
the Abaddon is just because they respect it with a core Wisp so much.
But for the idea of what NIGMA brings to a game, they're all heroes that allow for mid-game snowballing, kind of you centralize your draft around it. You know, Oracle enables the Husker, the Troll, the +1 to go in. The Tusk is just insane damage and Roshan potential. Timber, Abba, and Lesh, they're all exit the laning phase. They're just accelerants to just map pressure because they're crossing the river and doing stuff. So yeah.
They have Phantom Lancer. You banned Timber Lesh.
Sure, and you banned Timber Lesh. I'm just giving it a better way of saying it, Carl. You gotta.
I feel like I'm like I'm an 8th grade English class. You know, you got to write that book report. We're like, all right, well, it's really only worthy of a Cliff Notes, but we've got to finish the full 2 pages.
Yeah, the 2 pages. Sometimes it's kind of cool.
The ET.
Oh, yeah, this is a favorite once again.
We saw ET played by Brain very successfully on the off lane. Is there a chance Mind Control takes this one?
I'm down for it.
Yeah. Has he played that? I know you're all big on the checking of the pubs of the players, T.
I'm checking. I'm having a gander.
Right.
Every offlaner can play ET. Seb was doing it before
He said
it
he
even got
hasn't.
patched.
He hasn't played it.
On any of his heroes.
Mind Control, no.
He has no
Okay.
Smurfs.
And doesn't have any Smurfs.
Smurfing
Mind Control
is
an honest
bannable
man.
offense.
Yeah, he's
Kyle.
honest.
There's
Yeah.
no. Wait, is it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's that guy. He's always streaming like.
I know, and
accounts.
he's about to
He's
get
literally
banned.
boosting accounts.
He's
We're
about to
getting
get
through the banning.
Yeah, you know,
process.
there's a
they
lot
need
of
proof?
paperwork.
He's
a lot of admin.
All right.
A lot of admin. Quick draft though. Snap pick center into a snap pick center.
that is
flanking.
an interesting point though. Like, shouldn't pros kind of have to Smurf? That's why you hide your match history. Otherwise, people can find out what you're playing. It's open in the API.
I feel like if you're practicing in pubs, you're playing pubs which is public. You don't need to hide.
Yeah, you're playing with 9 other people.
Yeah.
Sure, but
That's a talking point for another day. We got to draft a game 2 NIGMA and Secret, Kyle, and we have a Sanking and an ET. So this, again, I'd love to see this be an IO ET lane, Sanking in some 4 or 3 capacity with the gyro mid. I think that it plays well to the evolution of this team with RTW and Miracle. And I really want to see them just try something a little bit more creative because they have got game 1 up against Secret.
Sand King Core is quite nice against the Phantom Lancer, though, with the cost
It
build.
is true. Yeah,
you just play really aggressive in the lane. I just don't really buy it. I have yet to see Sand King have a ton of success. I feel like we've been saying this for like a decade. Yeah. Like, it just doesn't seem good ever.
He needs the 4 to do a lot of work. Like, he needs that Willow. He needs that Murano, if you care about lane but not the game. Like, you need that +1 to really take the fight.
So far, I feel like, you know, we've seen a lot of these mid-game team fights, especially true of these 2 teams. And right now it feels like Secret have a lot more in the bank. Like, the initiation is just so much simpler with an ink swell onto one of the 3 heroes.
It's the opposite of that as well, though. In game 1, why did they lose? They could take fights, but when they took a fight and they didn't want to take it, they couldn't get out. Now they have PL, Centaur, and Voice, all super elusive heroes in the game. So if Secret doesn't want to take a fight, they will always be able to disengage, reset, and then maybe go again. And when you have heroes like, you know, a gyro, BKB, he can fight. Without BKB, he can't. ET, if he has ult, you know, like, he's a very on and off heroes from NIGMA. So, yeah, I like the idea of Secret, and it clearly sees how they they've read game 1 and why they lost, and they're adapting slightly. You know, we need a bigger win condition. We need to be able to choose the fights we want to take. We can't just fall victim to, oh wait, Nigma's now running at us. We're done. So I like the slight evolution there, but for Nigma, they need to decide exactly where they're going with their heroes, unless it is just the simplicity of.
I like the bans from Secret.
They are one game up, of course, as well. So this would be
that's why I want to see them get a bit creative.
Yeah.
They have last pick.
That's so scary.
It
When your
actually-
draft looks this nice and you have last pick, that's spooky.
I could see. I don't know who would play it, and I guess I know who would have played it. But Meepo last pick look really strong. I think they need something that sort of changes the win condition. It looks like a Wisp support at the moment, and I'm just not sold on Wisp Gyro into the hero secret half. Like Centaur considered a good counter pick, as is PL, and then a Void Spirit with the Inkswell just terrifies me. How are you going to stay alive as a Wisp ET support duo? How will you make active plays around the map?
You know what scares me most is that Kuro barely took any time in the bonus time for this draft. He knew exactly what he wanted, and he has got almost 2 minutes left. Team Secret on the 1 minute ticking down on their bonus time. Looking for a hero for Yapsor as per Kuro's bans.
Like,
What's still in the pool that blows up Tiny? I mean, Io. I mean, Tiny was going to be...
It's not a bad Rubik game.
I love the bans. I love the Willow and the Rubik bans for sure, because when you have Centaur, you want that ranged hero. So even like, I'd say like an SD as well, if that's still available. Against ET, you can purge everything from there, so he's not too tanky. You have the save.
Yeah, but that's real tricky.
But yeah, it is less map pressure. And
if it's the Yapsor, I mean, he'd just go Earthshaker, right?
Oh, Sky.
Even better.
Nice. Yeah,
we saw that in the first series. Seems somewhat underrated. Did it get changed at all?
Which one?
Skywrath. I think you just got a couple of tweaks, maybe a little more base intelligence.
Yeah, nothing too left field for sure.
It's the second time we saw him today. So
really good setup.
A lot of burst.
Very strong with the Grimstroke as well. Like, this is actually an absurd amount of burst damage. You can output double silence into Q spam.
But if they don't win their lane, then they go into a difficult spot of PL has to hit jungle. He can't really go just defuse one fight because Gyro is that big magic damage to deal with that.
Does Grimstroke PL lose a lane, though? Like, do either of these side lanes lose?
Sanking can pressure with the correct 4. I think maybe with the ET, it's
yeah, because if that is the duo lane, I mean, that's most likely, right? The ET Sand King lane?
It's a lot of punch as well.
Sure.
We'll see with their last pick. There's too much like up in the air with Nigma where they might be very creative, or they could just go.
You can
also Centaur, isn't that one of those heroes that can actually do fairly okay by himself as well? And we know that Secret loves to leave Zai on an island, preferably on the safe lane island, and then go for the tri lane.
This wouldn't be for right now. Dual lanes are like optimal because Centaur plus Sky. Centaur is the perfect buffer for a big like int explosive hero like Sky, and eventually Centaur is sufficient with Vanguard and Retaliate behind tower, opens up Sky to then rotate into lanes that might not be so good.
Darkseer. Okay. Well, then we're going to have a little bit of a change of who's playing what.
It is the
the Miracle Sand King!
Okay, this is kind of cool.
Did not expect that. Sorry for everybody's eardrums.
Not at all. I was honestly expecting something, but this is the creativity that I wanted to see.
Yeah?
Woo, this is refreshing.
I think Mind Control is the only player